We're going to be making a snowflake today. While making this snowflake, we're going to need fancy scissors, regular scissors, a pencil, a plate, and a big heavy art book. First thing we're going to do is we're going to put our plate in the middle of our paper, and it's just barely going to fit, but it'll fit just right if you're using the construction paper. We're going to trace around the outside of the plate while the plate is upside down. Then we'll take the fancy scissors and we'll very carefully cut right along the line. Now that I have a circle cut out, I'm going to fold it in half, like a taco. Then I'll fold it in half again, just like this. And then I'll fold it one more time, so that it looks like this. Now, every time that I cut into it, it's going to duplicate this 4 times. And so when I cut just a little line here and maybe a V shape here, so that it looks like this, it's going to duplicate that. And every time that I cut along the line here, it's going to duplicate that as well. I'll show you what this looks like in just a second. But first, let me show you what else we need to know about this. You can cut on both sides. You can cut on this side and on this side. And we can cut designs out into this, but you cannot go all the way to the other side. And where we cut, if I cut on this side, it can't touch this cut, or the paper is just going to fall off. I can come up next to it like this, but it can't touch. Okay, so far I'm cutting this, but they haven't touched. You can cut out square shapes, you can cut out round shapes, you can cut out half heart shapes. You really want to make an intricate design, cutting out quite a bit of the paper, but never letting the two touch. Then, when we open it up, you can see that it's duplicated it once, making it twice as big. So where this half circle is, now it's going to look like a full circle. Where this half triangle is, it's now going to look like that V shape. Then I'll open it up again. And now we see that it has 2 of those circles. And then we open it up all the way, and you can see that I've made a star, and then it has 4 of these circles that we created just a half circle out of. Then we need to choose a contrasting color. A contrasting color is something that's very different. So like blue and yellow are very different colors. I'm going to put this yellow paper onto black. I think that's a pretty well contrasting color. And so I'm going to glue this onto this. When gluing, you do not need to use a lot of glue. You don't want the glue to seep out. So I'm actually touching the paper, and I'm just putting a very, very, very thin line of glue all the way around to start with. Then I'm also going to put some within the middle. And it's just a very thin line of glue. I'm barely even squeezing, and my glue is actually touching the paper, which means that not very much is coming out. You do not need puddles of glue. If you have puddles of glue, it's going to seep out. It's going to make it look sloppy. You can see just how little glue I've put on there. Very, very, very little. And then I'm very carefully going to center it, press it down, and put a book on top of it to dry.